Knight Rider, we wanted to try and go a little step further. And David and I talked about what we wanted the car to do, and the more we talked, the more we got into, it's got to do things that nobody has seen before. So with Dukes of Hazzard, it was always out in landscape, kind of a rural area, and we said, let's stay in the city. Let's do everything in the city, and all these jumps are going to happen in the city. Well, as you know from the show, that I was jumping these cars usually from an alley to another alley with big buildings on either side. And the first time I got in the car, I'm looking at David saying, you know, this is an ugly landing if I go off just a little bit, because if you're off just a little bit on the ramp, maybe a foot, you're off 10 feet on the other side, and there's a big nasty looking building on the other side. So the first one went well, and after that we started progressing from that, and Kit jumped everything. We jumped over anything you can think of and through landscape signs, and I mean, we had so many different things that we came up with that I got to a point where I said, let's try blind drive jumping. That's when the blind drive car came through. And a lot of times you would see Kit come up and David would jump in the car and I would be blind driving the car. Well, as you probably know, I'm driving from the right-hand seat in a blind drive seat. And when I come up to grab David and he jumps in the car, he likes to drive. So we fight for the steering wheel trying to get to the next mark. And he's saying, I've got the car. I'm saying, no, I've got the car, you can't drive. And we fight to the next turn. And if we wreck, I call it his fault, he calls it my fault. So that's kind of the way it went, and we had a lot of fun on the show. It was a great experience for me, and I have to say that that time in my life was like a family for us. And it was all about, you wanted to come to work, you wanted to work the long hours because you knew you were doing something good for everybody. And the show was about a family-oriented type event. So I'm glad you all like the show. We all love the show too, and I'm glad to see you all here. Thanks a lot.
Jack Keel, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear it one time for Catherine Hicklin.
Oh.
Go ahead, get him, Stevie.
Okay, well, I am Catherine Hicklin, and you may know me best from One Life to Live, where I played Lindsay Rappaport for 12 years until I retired and moved to Las Vegas. I was Stevie Mason on Knight Rider for 3 episodes where I actually married David Hasselhoff. Well, what do you know? What a coincidence. I also happened to be engaged to him and married him in real life, but that did not last. However, I have, and I'm here with you, and I am really happy to be here. So happy. It's such a thrill to have worked on a great show that's now almost 30 years old, and you know, all of us that own these cars, we are crazy people, hopefully just like you, and we really loved meeting you, and working on the show was a great honor for me, just to be able to go everywhere in the world and meet fans of the Knight Rider, which in my opinion there has never been another television show that captured the heart, soul, and imagination of audiences everywhere. So we're just so happy to be here with you, and if you see me today, come up and give me a hug, because that's what I'm all about. Welcome. Have a great day in our great city.
Catherine Hicklin, let's hear for part, but I love the Bad Girls. So tell us about it. You're in the right city, Ann.
First of all, I don't know, most of you must be seeing me on cable, because the movie I did, Cassandra Crossing, with Sophia Loren and Ava Gardner and Burt Lancaster, is on every cable channel like every other day. I can't even imagine how this is happening. It's been going on for the last 2 years. But when it comes to Knight Rider, I have to tell you, I found last night I spoke to 3 different people whose life changed because of this show. They were watching it since the age, and you all know who you are out there, since the age of like 6 years old, and it made such an impact that these people have grown up to have the most extraordinary lives. They're such amazing human beings, and for them it was one man can make a difference. And it's true. I mean, if all of America thought that way, our country would be in a better state right now. Because one man can make a difference. And if we all join together, all those one men can make one big crowd that can make a difference. Or a woman.
That's right. And you know, actually, the Knight Rider Festival is the voice for the Children's Miracle Network. Last year, Ann was here, Kat was here, let's see, Michael, Jack, Jim, and collectively we helped over 40,000 sick children in Southern Nevada and gave their families hope. You are the reason why these folks are here, and they're being the voice for those sick children. So thank you very much for supporting them. Put your hands together one time for Miss Rebecca Holden. It's Ladies' Choice this time, and we're going to give it up to her.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome. It is a privilege to be here with all of you and to have this reunion with my fellow cast members and all the wonderful crew, and Paul Casey, who has put on this incredible event for 3 years now, and to be here with all of you who have loved and embraced this show the way that you have. You know, Daniel and Jason and Nick picked me up from the airport, and we were talking on the way in about how, you know, for me personally, I've worked on so many different shows, and you never can predict. You know, you're working on one, as Jack said, you're having a ball with your fellow workers, and you're creating, and you're going to work every day and having the joy of doing it as a gift to the public, but you never know how it's going to be embraced and received, and what those magical elements are that all come together to make a show that here we are, 30 years later, all coming together and bonding over something that is a common love. We were in the UK, Michael and Catherine and I, earlier in September, for a festival there, and we had all the kit cars there as well, and people coming together and forming friendships from all over the world. We get mail from countries all around the globe of people that love this show. And like Annie said, it does make a difference in people's lives. A young man came up to me and said, you know, I didn't have a wonderful childhood. I didn't have great parents who taught me right and wrong and the values in life. But this show delineated good and evil so clearly, and I made different choices in my life because of what I learned from this show, and that one man can make a difference, and I am the man that I am today because of it. So the great time that we had doing the show, it gives us even more a feeling of satisfaction and fulfillment, knowing that it made a difference. So thank you for that.
Rebecca Holden.
And I have to tell you, this show has been such a blessing in my life because I'm doing so much singing all around the world now, and this show has opened doors and allowed me to sing for people all around the globe, and I am so grateful for that. So thank all of you on this stage who were a part of making the show what it is.
Rebecca Holden. Rebecca, we have people that are coming that came from England, Germany.